OMG. Jeremy Vine drops big bombshell on Meghan's court case apology. She's betrayed public trust. Meghan Markle has been facing a backlash after being forced to apologize to the Court of Appeal for claiming she had not contributed in any way to the drafting of the controversial biography Finding Freedom. Meghan Markle had previously claimed she had played no role in the drafting of the book. But on Thursday, the Duchess of Sussex issued an apology to the Court of Appeals for forgetting about authorizing a former aide to brief the authors of Finding Freedom. Jeremy Vine caller Michael questioned the Duchess's U-turn, claiming she had betrayed the public's trust with her conduct. Michael said, "It's consistent. She's always been full of sound bites, and the classic was when she first became involved with the royal family. They ran a documentary about her life on TV and she made a speech, or a speech was broadcast that she'd made, where she was praising her father for all his support through her education. Later on, they showed another speech where she was at some women's organization, and therefore suited not to include her father, where she airbrushed the father out, claiming she had to work to finance her education, which was a contradiction." Presenter Jeremy Vine however offered a counter-argument to Michael's claims, saying, "You've been following it closely. We've mentioned it, this is bad. She said she hadn't cooperated, then she said she forgot, and she did." However, there are defenders of Meghan who say this is all motivated by people who don't like Americans, don't like people of color, don't like people who come from another country and marry into the royal family. What do you say to that? But citing Vine panelists Christo Forfers, Michael renewed his claims, "They're blind." Christo was saying, by and large, the media initially were favorable and supportive of her. That was basically true, and that was true of the public. And she betrayed the public's trust in her. How can you forget you had significant phone calls, emails, meetings, discussions on such a serious topic? Meanwhile, Karen Brady also breaks silence about Meghan's credibility. She stated, "Sunday newspaper is seeking to defend itself against Meghan's claims that it unlawfully breached her privacy by publishing extracts of the letter she wrote to her father Thomas 3 months after she married Harry, you know, the one that begins Dear Daddy. Dear Daddy, it now transpires, was not just a daughter writing to her father in a heartfelt way, but chosen as the opening words of a letter as a way to pull on the public's heartstrings if it was ever leaked." Understandably, this may be the final nail in the coffin for many people when it comes to Meghan's reputation as cynical, manipulative and calculating. For a couple so desperate to be liked and understood, they seem to find multiple ways of ending up being more disliked and more misunderstood. They say they want the truth out there. But it seems as if they only want the truth out there if it shows them in a positive and sympathetic light. The only way the public will really be happy is if they step out of the public view and live an anonymous life behind closed doors, away from all the trappings of fame and royalty that they just can't bring themselves to say goodbye to. But, let's be honest, that is never going to happen. So in the meantime, I guess they have to take much more of the rough and far less of the smooth. Following the publication of Finding Freedom, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry distanced themselves from the biography, claiming they had played no part in the writing process. However, the Sussexes' former communications secretary Jason Knauf contradicted the claim in a bombshell statement to the Court of Appeals. Mr. Knauf, who is now working as chief executive of Prince William and Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge's charitable foundation, said the authors of the books had been briefed at Harry and Meghan's request. He also claimed he had had several conversations with both Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand during the drafting process. Carolyn Durand